Today we're going over Debian Stable and how to maintain it. Hi, welcome to the Penguin Revolution, and today we're going over Debian maintenance, specifically the Debian Stable branch. However, these rules should be applied to Debian testing as well. You have a little bit of leeway with testing, but if you apply these rules more or less, you won't go wrong. You should be. Most of this information is derived from a Debian wiki article called Don't Break Debian. I'll link that in the description. So let's dive into this. First of all, you should avoid creating the FrankinDebian monster. What a lot of people like to do to try and get updated software and new software and other programs is try to combine Debian repositories from different branches. That Debian Stable is not compatible with Debian testing or Debian SID or vice versa. Just don't combine things. You will cause package conflicts. You will break a lot of your applications. It's a headache. You can recover from it. Don't think that you can't, but it is difficult to recover from it. If you have a program that you want to run that is not in the Debian repositories, look for a different method for installing it. There's an additional repo that's authorized by Debian. I'll go into it later. But all in all, don't add a bunch of repositories to it. Don't combine Ubuntu or Ubuntu-based repos with Debian. These include Ubuntu flavors such as Kubuntu, etc., Linux Mint, and Pop! OS. Literally, when you do something like this, Ubuntu is based off of Debian SID. So when you do something like this, it's like putting Debian SID alongside of Debian Stable. And this is a good way just to break everything. I mean, I have tried this before just to see what would happen on a PC I didn't care about. And it's a good way for your computer just to go kaboom. Literally. If you do something like that, people have had to wipe it out. Same thing with personal package archives or PPAs. These are also a Debian. These are not a Debian thing. These are actually Ubuntu. And it's the same issue here. Don't mix Ubuntu with Debian. It's just not a good idea. Don't chase after shiny new objects. Literally, Debian Stable never runs the absolute latest software. And this is by design. Debian Stable tries to create the most stable environment you have. And all software has been tested to be stable, working. And just because it's old doesn't mean it's insecure. It's maintained by the Debian team. And it's usable. So, if you need this is where adding PPAs is important. Not adding PPAs is important. Sorry. Literally, if you need to update software, look for a different alternative because PPAs will still break your system. There are other alternatives than APT to maintain up-to-date software and the software you need to keep up to date. So leave Debian Stable as it is, because if you introduce new different things, you will most likely cause conflicts. Okay, now when you're compiling software, you need to use common sense. The make install function that's at the end of most compile programs can cause package conflicts with APT. So just know what you're installing. When in doubt, don't use make install and run it from your home folder. But if you're going to use make install, just know what you're installing. And a lot of times, like if you're installing dependency libraries for a project, you have to use make install. Just make sure you know what you're installing. It's not going to conflict with everything on your system. And that's really all I have to say on compiling software. You need to watch when you're removing software, but this is the same with anything. When you're removing software, sometimes APT will have to remove other packages, mainly because they depend on what you're removing. This is to avoid conflicts. It's to keep your system running. Just make sure you know what you're installing. Just read what it's about to remove before you hit yes. And you can always simulate the removal process. So, without the danger of removing a bunch of packages. I once removed my desktop environment because I wasn't paying attention. So, yes, you need to read what your APT is about to remove. When you're removing packages that are no longer required with APT auto remove, it is completely safe. Auto remove just basically removes dependency libraries and that programs no longer use. So removing those is safe. APT knows what it's doing. So using APT auto remove is safe. Alright, so what if you need a new software version and the latest features? And they're not available in the Debian stable or whatever version of Debian you're running. You can use Debian backports. This is included in Debian testing, so you won't need to add it to Debian testing, but Debian backports is certified to work with stable. So if you need up-to-date software, this is where I look first. You could always convert to Debian testing. If you're running a basic desktop, a lot of times I'll suggest you run testing. It is completely a stable environment. A lot of people frown on it, but I've run Debian testing and it is completely safe to run. Basically, software that's been found to have bugs never runs in testing. It usually stops in SID until the bug is fixed. You could always convert to SID, but do that at your own risk. You really need to know how Debian works to run SID. It's not necessarily dangerous if you know what you're doing, but if you do not, it can be very dangerous to your data. So you just need to make sure you're a veteran at Debian. Run testing for a while if you don't learn Debian, and then if you want the latest and greatest, convert to SID. SID is the unstable branch. But I'll go over Debian SID in another video. It's completely different. You can use distro-agnostic packages. These packages are self-contained and contain everything they need to run, and they don't cause conflicts with the rest of your system, because literally what's applied to these packages only applies to these packages. These include app images, flatpaks, and snaps, even though I hate snaps, but it's an option. Some people love snaps. I don't have a high opinion of snaps, but I won't go into that in this video. That's another video altogether. However, all these are great options to keep software up to date because they don't conflict with anything. They're easy to keep up to date. They are up to date most likely. And literally it's just a Flatpak update or snap refresh or downloading a new app image. And ignore that typo of app image. Apparently I double hit M, but I'm not going to fix it. And you can always compile from source as well. Just follow the cautions I mentioned earlier. As always, thanks for watching the Penguin Revolution. Please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And I will see you next time.